So we're going to look at one of the 7 visual elements, line. The important thing to know how to do in painting is to create a beautiful line. We're going to look at the work of Van Gogh. If you think of Starry Night and we start looking at these details of it, it's just all line work. So what we're going to do is kind of find inspiration in this, bring in an image of a place, a sky, a cat, a person, a landscape, a house, and we are going to really lean into building that out with line. And we are first going to do a sketch. We have all these great sketches of Van Gogh's that I'll show you at the end of the video. That'll be inspiration. This is one of them. And we will be sketching first in pencil or marker and just kind of figuring out what the line might look like in your painting, and then we will go deep on Van Gogh. As you can see, sometimes the lines are creating actual structure. Sometimes he uses line to create the contour. Sometimes he's literally just filling a space, like this guy, he's just filling it with line. And it's not really referring to a blade of grass or anything, it's just literally filling this. That's how he's marking up the space. And yeah, he really just did it with anything. He did it with the sunflowers, his own portraits. He did it with any of the, any topic he was doing, he would do the lines, and we're going to do the same thing. But there's lots of ways to insert. Sorry, it's really loud here today. Lots of ways to insert line. Matisse kind of used it as an outline contour in his work. There's lots of ways to use it. Egon Schiele obviously outlined everything with these gorgeous, thin, elegant, emotional lines. You could do that. Gabrielle Munter, who's one of my favorites. If you do a figure, and I highly recommend you doing a figure actually, look at how she outlines everything with these dark black lines. She also did it with still lifes and landscapes, but a figure would be really fun, or a portrait, to try to practice this idea of how to insert line in a painting and make line kind of one of the primary visual elements of it. And she did that extremely well with these dark black lines. Love her work. Another painter is Suzanne Valadon. She did a lot of figures, a lot of animals. If you want to do a cat, and you could steal some of these palettes too, are just really gorgeous. She had such an interesting palette, a lot of muted colors, and yeah, really lovely stuff. But again, look at the line quality. Very important. Alice Neal, who is one of the great portraitists ever. She did some sections that were more form driven and shadow and light, and then she would outline it often with this blue or green line. Oscar Howe, a Native American painter from South Dakota. I love his work. It's about motion and movement, but a lot of line. It was a big focus of his. And Diego Rivera had, in some periods of his painting, really distinct lines. I don't know if it was just it became such a huge part of his work. And I wonder if it had to do with somewhat with the mural painting, like how it looked up on the wall. A few contemporary painters. This is Sahara Long. Fall in love with her now, but we're doing a whole class on her, so I'm just going to give you a tiny little bit of work to get you excited. We're doing a whole class on her work. Grace Weaver, lots of heavy lines, sometimes almost cartoonish pop art vibe, but yeah, outlines a lot of her stuff with line and uses it as a huge element in her work. Yeah, she's really huge now, and she's very poppy. I'm gonna be honest, I've conflicted kind of feelings about her work, but I thought I'd include it. So what we're gonna do is we are going to do, like I said, a sketch first, a la Van Gogh. So you're going to sketch out how you imagine line playing a role in your painting on a piece of paper. And so, yeah, we're going to build out your world, your figure, your portrait, your landscape, your still life, whatever you choose to do. Bring in an image. You're welcome to build a still life with the objects we have. We're first going to build it out with line. This could be a 2-part class, I have a feeling. And we'll talk more about that, and we're going to use complementary colors to do it. So we're going to we'll talk more about the palette, but we'll lean into that tomorrow. Okay, thanks, bye.